Hello, everyone. I'm Cheslick44, also known as Papai, and welcome to this Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Last episode, we sold a whole load of extra loot that we happen to have, organized our inventory, got everything settled in, leveled up our two new companions of Nenio and Dayrin, did a bit of a talk with Dayrin in order to learn a bit about him. So he's got an amulet of natural armor and she has nothing. Good to know, aside from light crossbows. And we are basically ready to talk with other companions. How about we start with Nenio here, see what she has to say.
Girl, I am pleased with you. I asked you to bring me to safety, and that's exactly what you did. Indeed, having a follower to aid me is most efficient and frankly pleasing. With you on hand, I shall conquer new horizons, plumb the depths of knowledge hitherto unknown, and scale the dizzying heights of future discoveries.
Nenio stops to catch her breath.
What I mean is, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude. I foresee immense potential in our future cooperation.
Happy to help.
Hand in hand, we will unravel the greatest mysteries inaccessible to the minds of ordinary people. Just imagine it. I, leading the way, proudly staring into the faces of the gods themselves, and you, my loyal follower, walking behind me every step of the way, writing down my deepest thoughts and admiring the profundity of my intellect.
If we hold hands, you won't be able to go in front of me and lead the way.
You are the catalyst, which, when it reacts with my intellect, will allow the latter to grasp the very essence of the universe itself.
Do you always express your delight so effusively?
What? Who are you?
Nenio stares at you for a while, bewilderment in her eyes, but then it is replaced by recognition.
Oh, yes, my new follower. So what am I supposed to do? Oh, yes, I must provide some verbal encouragement for your as-yet modest achievements, and try to induce you to strive for more of such encouragement. That is the principle that underpins any training.
She frowns, but only for an instant.
Ah, I see. Your modest nature was unsettled by the overabundance of my gratitude. I do apologize for putting you in such an awkward position. I will never praise you again. Unless I forget. But let's get back to the business at hand. Your new assignment will be to take me to the inconspicuous ruins that are located in an even more inconspicuous valley lying between Canabras and Dresden as soon as is reasonably practicable. I will mark the place on your map with a large red cross so you won't forget it.
What's so special about these ruins near Canabras?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is my greatest hypothesis, my secret project, and I won't pass up the opportunity to share it with you, because you are my most loyal follower and you are worthy of possessing such knowledge. Also because you were the first person to ever ask me about it. Some time ago, I was walking around the border of the World Wound and I met a strange person. He was wearing a frayed grey robe and his face was hidden behind an odd white mask. Of course, I didn't miss the opportunity to ask him about the reasons for his absurd appearance, and do you know what he said to me? He said, "I am the answer, but what is the question?" Then he walked off in the direction of the World Wound. The next day, after I had already forgotten about the first encounter, I had another similar encounter. This time I met an elven woman, judging by the pointy ears sticking out from behind the mask. "I am the answer, but what is the question?" she said, before taking off toward the World Wound. And then I realized. Everything became clear to me. I know a mystery when I see one. Consider this one of my myriad talents.
Nenio rubs the tip of her nose.
After all these geysers weren't simply on their way to a costume party, were they? After examining several maps, I determined that they were all heading in one direction, to a place not far off from Canabras, a place which is marked as Nameless Ruins, even on ancient Sarkorian maps. That is where I need to go. Unraveling the secret of that place will be my greatest discovery. It will secure my place in history, or perhaps even in legend.
How do you know where we have to go?
Do you know how to find a beehive in a forest? You need to catch 2 bees, set them free in 2 different directions of the forest, and remember the directions they fly in. Then you make a map and draw lines showing the bees' routes. A place where the lines intersect will mark the location of the beehive. Fascinating, yes? By the way, forest bees do not make any honey. I use the beehive principle here, too. For a couple of months, I tracked the strange people in the mass and observed the direction in which they were traveling. I collected the coordinates, mapped their estimated routes, and made a discovery. All the routes intersected at the Nameless Ruins not far from Canabras.
Gotcha. Triangulation. What do you expect to find there?
I haven't the slightest idea. If I knew what was hidden there, I wouldn't be so eager to go.
These ruins aren't very far from Canabras. You could easily get there all by yourself. Why do you need me? Nenio's eyes seem ready to pop out of their sockets in surprise.
Don't you see? This is a legendary secret place. Who knows what may happen to me after I lift the veil and uncover the workings of the universe? My mortal body may be unable to contain all that knowledge, or perhaps I will ascend and become equal to the gods themselves. I need you to write down everything that happens and report my fate to the interested parties in Absalom. And don't forget to praise me as I deserve while you're there.
You know, these ruins of yours may turn out to be just that, ruins. Neniember shrugs.
In that case, we'll write this experiment off as a failure and start another one. I don't know which experiment I'll try next.
That's all I wanted to know about your task.
Well, now you know. So off we go. Did I just make a rhyme? Perhaps I've discovered poetic talent in myself. Oh, let's conduct an experiment. Quickly, say any word and I'll try to find a rhyme for it right away.
Science.
That's what thinkers make alliance. Ineffectual defiance. Not the best rhymes, don't you think? Well, this experiment was unsuccessful. We learned that I have no poetic talent after all. But it's no reason to despair. Having a gift for poetry in addition to my inexhaustible intelligence would have been a little too much. Besides, I am catastrophically busy and have no time to spend on writing poetry.
I should mention, I don't really like it when you call me girl. My name's Falai Galasarn.
On the grand scale of world history, your name is irrelevant. I have no reason to remember it. You see, the brain of any given individual can contain only a limited amount of facts. I only expend my memory on things that are truly important. The laws of thermodynamics, divine esoterica, planar geography, things that will lead Galarian to a brighter future.
Nenia rubs her nose.
Besides, what if I make a great discovery but I won't be able to remember it because my memory is full of outdated or useless information? What a nightmare that would be! What a loss for the whole of Galarian!
But you do remember your own name, right?
Only so I know what to put for the author's name in my encyclopedia.
Dang. Are there any names worth remembering?
There are, and to my deepest regret, there are too many of them.
Nenio heaves a sigh that would befit a grief-stricken old man.
The names of gods and demigods, the names of rulers, conquerors, and other persons by some reason deemed great by the people of Galarian. They etch their names into history, and alas, every self-respecting educated person must know them. But there are names I am happy to remember. Great scientists, some of them divine, others mortal, true keepers of knowledge and great experiments. The pioneers of knowledge, Irori, Nethys, Aurilu Vorlesh.
I didn't expect you to mention Aurilu Vorlesh. Interesting.
Oh, you think so? She is the greatest of the greatest. Just imagine, she managed to open a rift from Galarian to the Abyss. No one knew how, no one believed it possible, no one even dreamed of such a thing, and she just did it. It was the experiment of the century.
Nenia wipes a tear from her eye.
I would have been so happy if I could have been in her place. Of course, some part of Galarian's population died as a result of her experiment, and the Crusaders are still wrestling with its consequences to this day. But the very essence of what Aurilu managed to do was a breakthrough of cosmic significance, both figuratively and literally. Sooner or later, the world wound will be closed. Peace will return to Galarian. As for the victims of the ongoing war, they will be remembered as unfortunate but unavoidable sacrifices made in the altar of science. Were we talking about something?
Okay then. Tell me about yourself.
I am an explorer, a pilgrim, a yet-to-be-recognized scientific luminary, future author of the Encyclopedia Galarianica, and rector of all Absalom's universities at once. Future rector, I should say.
Nenio speaks in one breath as if reeling off a practice monologue.
That information should be enough to satisfy your curiosity, because I doubt I will be able to tell you more than that.
Where are you from?
That information is irrelevant. I've decided to forget it.
How did you become a scientist?
That information is irrelevant. I've decided to forget it.
You have a circle tattooed on your shoulder. What does it mean?
Nenio casts a sidelong glance at her shoulder. Oh, that. I do not remember the circumstances of its creation, but I like it. I prefer to think of it as a zero, null, nothing, a center point, an origin of coordinates. It reminds me how much of the unknown world there is to explore.
Don't you remember how you got this tattoo?
That information is irrelevant. I've decided to forget it.
How can you just decide to forget important pieces of information?
That is just one of my many talents. The secret is to stop thinking about the thing you want to forget. And the main thing is not to remember anything you don't need. To filter it. To get right to the essence. I'll teach you someday. Unless I forget.
What is this encyclopedia you're working on?
The Encyclopedia Gallarionica will be published in 100 volumes, 1,000 pages each, plus the author's addenda, appendices added by future co-authors, and critical commentaries. Addenda indexation is still in question. I just like the number 100, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to keep within the established word limit. It will be a magisterial piece of scholarship that will become a part of the mandatory curriculum of every educational institution worth mentioning. In it, I intend to describe every object, item, event, fact, and personality that is present on or at least somehow related to Galarian. My calculations show that I have completed no more than 1% of this monumental book.
Yeah, you got a ways to go.
Do you remember your parents, your past, or is that all irrelevant too? All of it is irrelevant on the grand scale of world history. I have no reason to remember such things.
Forgetting your origin, knowing nothing about who you are and where you come from. That's terrible. Nenio stays silent and gives you a puzzled look.
What? What were we talking about?
I'll stop torturing you with questions for now. Alright, I have to go. Nenio produces a crumpled piece of paper from her sleeve and takes some notes on it.
This conversation lasted approximately 5 minutes. By the way, did you know that this is the exact same amount of time the Inquisitors of Canabras need to find a defendant guilty? But to shake off Inquisitors chasing you takes 5 times as long. That experiment proved that running while clad in heavy armor is not burdensome for them at all.
I think that took more than 5 minutes. But okay then. Moving on. How about we go and speak with Ember for a little bit now? See what she's about. The elf in front of you is young, still an adolescent by the standards of their long-lived folk. A childish, carefree smile plays on her face, and her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. Terrible scars cover her body, and a few of her fingers are missing. A crow sits on her shoulder, observing you with its clever black eyes. Tell me about yourself.
Well, they call me Ember. I used to live in the River City, and now I walk with you. That's my story.
Why do they call you Ember?
I've had many names. When I was little, Mom and Dad called me Dove or Cricket or Kitten. Dad called me his ray of sunshine. And when my mom was cross, she called me by a long name, a grown-up one. I can't remember it, no matter how hard I try.
Oh, that's sad.
Then when I came to live in the River City, the good people called me different funny names, like Ember or Torch or Smoky. I don't know why. They called me Bird Brain because I have a crow. They called me Lucky 7 because of my fingers.
She raises her hands. The middle finger on her right hand and the 2 smaller fingers on her left are missing.
They sometimes called me Grilled Meat and said I was stupid, but I didn't feel hurt. I mean, they're right, I really am silly. They didn't mean to hurt me. I like Ember. It's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside, they're gray and cold like stones, but they're warm inside. You can blow on them and they'll start a fire to help you survive a cold night. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Ember it is.
An interesting way to look at it. Where are you from?
Far away, from the flower country.
The girl gestures vaguely off into the distance.
It's so beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls, and everyone is like me with pointy ears. There's no round-eared people, no short ones, no horned heads. We lived here together, me and Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all the good people should go on the crusade and fight the demons, and Mom said he was silly because it was so far away and none of our business, and that he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me. He took me along. He said I was born the same year that the hole to the demon world opened. He said it was a sign that I would be one of the heroes who close it. Of course, I'm not a hero, but I'm here anyway, helping as much as I can.
Where did you get your scars?
It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said that all the good people were going to the world wound to heal it. He said that the Crusaders were the best people in the world, and together we were going to win. But when we arrived at the River City, the Crusaders got everything mixed up. They thought my dad and I were bad and decided to burn us at the stake. Dad died, and I cried so loudly that one good night realized it was all a big mistake. He started yelling at the other Crusaders, even the one in charge, and then walked right into the fire and got me out. The others wanted to stop him, but he took out his sword and scared them away. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned so badly that he died not long after. But I'm still alive. A few fingers missing and my skin is funny. I've lived in the River City ever since. I've never had my own house, but I had many friends. And then the demons came and I met you, and you know what happened after that.
Is it really so easy for you to forgive them? I'm not sure I could be so merciful.
No one can say how much good or evil they have in them. No one can see into their own soul.
Ember smiles and tilts her head. Her inquisitive look wanders over your face as if she's trying to look into your soul.
No one knows until it's time to check.
Interesting. Do you worship any deity? The girl shakes her head with an unwavering smile.
Dad taught me to pray to Iomade. He said she was a kind goddess and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. They even lit the fire with a prayer to her, and she did nothing to help us. But then one kind knight, alone, without any gods, changed his mind and saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything and they're scared of everything, so they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they're afraid of being responsible for themselves. And the gods listen to the praise, and they become smug and arrogant, and begin to believe that they're better than us. But they're no better. They're silly sinners just like the rest of us. Sometimes I pray to the gods. Different ones. The good ones, the bad ones. I ask them to stop. Stop fighting and hurting each other. I don't know if they ever hear me, but if they do... I mean, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. If he can change, maybe Baphomet can too.
Keep trying, Ember. How did you survive on the streets? The elf shrugs.
There are many good people in the River City. When I sang for them in the street, they'd often give me coins or bread or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with the other homeless, and they showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, where I could find discarded things. When the demons destroyed the River City, I looked for my friends, but I found no one. They probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in, and the knights won't protect them either. Knights are like gods. So self-important. They're saving the world after all. What do they care about the homeless?
Still smiling, the girl shrugs. Where do your magical powers come from?
Oh, these tricks? I have them from my grandma. She used to be my father's grandma, and before that, his father's. I've never seen her myself, but she's very clever and kind. When I lived on the streets, sometimes she left food for me or a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I feel her stroking my hair as I fall asleep. But if I open my eyes, there's no one near. She also sent me soot.
She scratches the crow's beak and the bird grumbles happily in response.
She tells Soot how to do different tricks, and Soot teaches me.
Huh. It appears that Ember doesn't know who exactly gives her these powers, but you can guess from her words that her patron is Andaletta, a powerful Archon, one of the Imperial Lords, also known as Grandmother Crow. Huh. Interesting. Thank you for your answers.
Oh, not at all. I didn't really tell you anything.
You told me plenty. You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain so hopeful when we're surrounded by such horror?
Hope?
She tilts her head and continues with a smile.
No, hope is a lie. What should we hope for? This world is in the hands of demons. The gods can't help, or they don't want to, or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but still they quarrel with each other, and fight and steal. There's no hope, only us. We have to win without hope. It will be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle, which means we'll have to make one happen. What other choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win because we have to.
The elf smiles broadly and nods to herself. I have to go.
So go.
The elf watches you with a radiant smile as you leave. She is a very interesting person, and something about her always puzzled me. Even in the future, with what we see of her later, there will be things to wonder about. Anyway, I don't want to start talking to the storyteller now, but I did just remember. We do have to turn in a quest to Foreign Autumn Haze here. So, I think Kaylessa might be a drow. You see a shadow pass over Foreign's eyes for a single instant, then his face is just as impassive as before. A drow? Unlikely. It's more plausible that our dark service has left a brand similar to the one that twisted the entire cursed drow race. A coincidence, I would think. I met Kaylessa. Foreign's melancholic expression remains calm, but his entire body tenses, and his fingers wrap around the handle of his weapon. Under what circumstances? I hope you seize the opportunity to kill her. Are you certain of your allegations? Foreign lowers his head and says in a hollow voice, I am. Her misdeeds are terrible and proven with absolute certainty. She claims she doesn't serve the demons. Of course she does. In an attempt to buy her life, she would stoop to the boldest and the most egregious of lies. Whose word do you trust, hers or mine? I let her go. After giving you a saddened look, Foreign stares off into the distance. Your decision is regrettable. I'm afraid that in doing so, you've condemned her many future victims to death. I suppose it just means that bringing this hunt to a close falls upon my shoulders. Alright. Was there any other quests? That, we don't have anything. Horgus's mansion we need to go to. With Camellia, we'll take her. That's done. We need to talk to the storyteller. We've gotten some allies. We can probably talk to them. We need to wait for that. Wait for the liberation of Canabres. Kaylessa is later. These two are done. Those are companion quests that are done. Nenio needs to be done. Hound Hearts will be done later. That's done, that's done, that's done. Asking the advice of a priest of the Defender's Heart. We do. I think we can talk with Vasily here. Whenever I sleep outside the walls of the Defender's Heart, I'm plagued by terrible dreams. Can you help me? The priest studies your face carefully. You look tired, but otherwise entirely healthy. If we were anywhere else, I would simply tell you to get some rest, but we are on the border of the World Wound, and I'm all too aware of what's happening to you. As you know, the Wound is a rift between Galarian and the Abyss, and all the evil that feeds the Abyss does the opposite in our world. It feeds on Galarian. So it is that even when we cannot see demons near us, our ultimate foe, the Abyss, is always surrounding us. Many soldiers fighting in the World Wound experience similar things. They suffer terrible nightmares, get no peace, and sometimes even lose their minds. But we are trained to help you with this affliction. By the will of Abadar, I have consecrated an altar here. The god's grace permeates the space around it, soothing one's soul and quieting thoughts during rest. So if you see your nerves are fraying, seek out a holy place like this, approach it, and all the corruption will be cleansed from you. Alright. I have to go. I just thought of something I did want to do. The Sovereign Dragon. I am going to move it to someone else. Well, it's nice to have these for all of us. I think you would have better use from it. I will put it out there later. Once you're actually with us. That said, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. A little bit of a shorter episode, but that's fine. Next episode, we'll speak with the storyteller, and then take a rest, because I'm pretty sure we need one. That'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chester44, Arsenius Fly. That is me. This has been a Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous, and I shall see you all next time.